It's been 1 week
since you looked at me.
1 week until the start of the NFL football season. 1 week from right now, we will be an hour and 17 minutes away from Deshaun Watson versus Patrick Mahomes at Arrowhead with the defending champs coming to town. How are we feeling about the start of NFL season?
Just real quick, I'd like to congratulate Scotty's dad on getting engaged. It's a big moment for Patrick Mahomes. And I'm very happy for Brittany. And Patrick, who we all know is Scotty's papa, Papa Bear.
I hope he gets cuckold.
Maybe he's into that.
Yeah, he could be.
You don't know.
Yeah, he looks like he could be.
He by his brother, no less.
Brother looks like it.
You had the same thought. But NFL a week away. We'll run through that. We'll have NBA bubble talk with some second round predictions. Zack's ERA play of the day. Always a thrill, it seems like. Boardwalk. We got some other updates. Start with the NFL. Leonard Fournette to Tampa Bay. Love or hate it, Scotty?
I kind of like it. But I mean, I really kind of don't have opinion on it. Like, I think that it's probably a good move, but there's also a committee there, and then like Tom Brady would have to be. I don't know what Tampa Bay is trying to do this year.
Did you see what Evan Ingram said?
No.
He said Golden State Bucks.
Oh gosh.
I know.
What an idiot.
I know.
Yeah, but like, and Zach made a good point. He's like, well, he's not going to jump in right away and know the system, so maybe he's not as relevant week 1, 2 in that system. But yeah, I don't know.
Player props take the under on his rushing
New
yards
England
week
running
1.
backs never did anything, exceptional. Like, you never
right.
Like before Sony Michel, you never really wanted to own, like in fantasy football,
right.
You never really wanted to own a New England running back before Sony, I guess. But
I guess you wanted like James White if your league was really deep, because he'd get a bunch of catches, but that was about it.
Right. But like, where's Fournette? Like, so if Fournette's going to take a lot of the carries, then someone on like Tom Brady is going to have to take a back seat,
right.
And I don't see that really happening. So
yeah, you saying that's a good point where you're like, I don't know what they're planning on doing. Yeah, I don't. It's like Brady has all these weapons with the 2 stud receivers, complemented tight ends, and it's like, okay, is Brady airing it out like 07 again, or is it, we're going to see the noodle arm Brady we saw last year, and now they're a power running team at some point? I don't know. What would you set the over-under at for Fournette rushing yards, knowing it's a committee, knowing he has weapons all around him, and knowing that he won't be prevalent in the system for a couple weeks, you would think?
Probably like 750.
650.
750.
I was going to say 600.
600? Wow,
yeah,
okay.
I mean, if he's virtually going to miss a couple games...
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, maybe take the over on his touchdowns because he'll be a goal line guy.
Yeah, unless he just totally crushes it. Week 1, he has like 150 yards.
Well, last year, I didn't even notice this until I looked up his stats, that like it was his best statistical year of his career. I mean, it's a brief career,
right?
But I mean,
yeah, he killed it.
I mean, and I think of all the positions where you come to a new team, I think running backs are probably one of them where you need less preparation than, say, a defensive back.
I would disagree with.
Really?
And especially when you're playing with Brady, how strict he is about blocking schemes on pass plays. And
I guess that, but that doesn't affect his over-under. If we're still talking about his over-under for rushing yards, his pass
unless
blocking...
Brady turns to Bruce Arians and says, don't put him in the game because he's effing things up.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But, because he's done that. But, yeah, it's
Do you think he has that kind of pull in Tampa?
Oh, yeah. He's the best quarterback that's ever played the game.
Right, but he's not 07 Tom Brady anymore, clearly, as we saw from last year.
I still think him and Bruce Arians are basically like, yeah, if you see something you like out there, don't like. I trust Tom Brady.
Do you think the GM would back Arians or Tom Brady in an argument?
Great question. They're both on like their career deathbed. Arians already retired once.
Right.
Brady's ancient, so that's a good point.
Thanks, Carson Palmer.
But yeah, Fournette to Tampa, we don't know what they're doing there. I would set it right around where Scotty said 600, and you don't know with New England it was too like Sony Michel could get 28 carries in a game and then get 4 the next, and then Rex Burkhead could chime in with 11 the next day, or like Bolden.
Danny Woodhead.
Yeah.
All
right.
Nowhere.
Next up, Alvin Kamara back to practice. This question's for me because I have the 4th pick coming up in a fantasy draft. Scotty, if the first 3 go C-Mac.
Oh, is it not a 2 QB league?
No.
Okay.
It's if the first 3 go C-Mac, Saquon, Elliott, would you go Kamara 4th?
Oof. I would rather have Kamara before Elliott.
Go Mahomes.
Already taken because it's a keeper league.
Oh, you get to keep one player. Okay.
Keeper. Well, you get to keep a player that you drafted in the 4th round or later for up to 3 years. And so when Mahomes was a rookie, someone drafted him in the 16th.
What a dick.
So now, steal of the year, basically. But yeah, what do you think of that? If the chips fall to me at 4 and it's Saquon, C-Mac, and say Elliott is off the board.
Yeah, you know who I go is Derrick Henry. Probably there.
Yeah.
My guy.
I like that. Derrick Henry or Thomas?
Michael Thomas?
Kinda
The PPR league?
I mean,
PPR?
you also have like
know?
Nick Chubb and Dalvin Cook that you could take.
That's true.
Who?
Joe Mixon's
going to
have a big year with that contract.
In our league, Shelby?
Who?
Please.
Nick
Dalvin
Chubb
Cook.
and Dalvin Cook?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have both.
That guy.
And you took them? Did you take them round 1 and 2?
No, I took Michael Thomas first round.
Yep.
That's wild.
I know,
Our
right?
league is so
we had
fucking
some
stupid.
We had some steals, dude. I got Mixon in the 3rd round.
I took him 2 and 3, Scotty.
When did I take Mixon? 3rd round or 4th round?
Yeah,
We'll
but
get
2
to
and
that
3,
in a
it's starting to
Yeah.
sneak all the way back to you for you to be able to get Cook.
Yeah, I took Cook, and then Clyde Edwards-Helaire went off the board. Miles Sanders went off the board, and then
Before
Thielen,
Chubb.
Evans,
Wild.
Thielen, Evans, Kittle, Breeze, Ryan, Brady, and then Chubb.
Oh, I took Kittle.
And
yeah.
Mixon after that.
All right. Alvin Kamara, he's back to practice, though, so they might be making up. Zach Ertz also has some contract issues. Last one, Jaguars lose another starter on defense, Ronnie Harrison, a trade to the Browns, who are trying to replace Grant Delpit, who's down for the year for a season-ending injury. Jaguars, I don't like the word tank in an NFL season after last year
Jaguars.
when I thought the Dolphins were a lock to go 0-16, but the Jaguars sure look like
They're this
They don't
year's they're this year's Dolphins. They're the previous year's Bills.
And they're doing it worse than the
they're
Dolphins
doing it worse than the Dolphins
No,
because
they're
the,
not.
They're not getting it first. They're not getting any first
At
round
least
picks.
last year with the Dolphins, they were. We find out with how they played at the end of the year. They were trying to win with a rookie
Right.
head coach who's trying to build a culture. The Jaguars have a coach with like one leg out the door
Right.
in Marone,
I would say probably 9 only has
9
one
toes out the door.
Yeah.
But the Jaguars with Fournette and 2, it's like if they release Leonard Fournette, they get nothing for him because they couldn't find a trade partner.
Right.
We talked about that last time. It's like,
They
why do you even
fucking-
have to say that?
They fucking whiffed on a trade deal for Calais Campbell. They only got a 4th rounder.
And if the Jags really wanted to win, again, I don't like tanking in the NFL, but if they really wanted to win, it's like, okay, well, they release Leonard Fournette. They probably have a plan in the backfield with some guys that are, proven or anyway, and they don't. They have Chris Thompson, who was beaten out by AP, I think, in Washington, and is kind of a primary pass catcher.
Same Chris
dare you.
Thompson that was in
I'll trade you right now.
What,
I'll
drafted
trade you him.
Seattle?
I'll trade you Chris Thompson right now for Michael Thomas.
And then I think
You're going to be begging for that trade week
they
4.
have Rykel Armstead, who I think caught a touchdown against Denver last year.
I know that
And
name.
that's the only time I've ever heard of him. So the Nuggets,
Scotty remembers him.
Jaguars don't really have a plan in place. They're just like, okay, Fournette, save some money
Hey,
on that
Hey,
contract.
Yeah.
how dare you? Because I have some breaking news. We have a sweepstakes. There's a big Jadeveon Clowney news out there.
Oh.
There's
Oh,
two
don't we
teams.
have a bet for this?
So the Saints are heavily
Don't you guys have a bet?
Yeah, what is our Clowney bet? I
that
don't
he
even
plays
remember.
with his next team. He plays over 21 games if it's a 3-year deal or longer.
Oh, long con.
Yeah, and if he plays in 3 seasons, he plays 21 games.
Not
or
counting retirement.
Right,
If he just retires and never plays again.
right. Which is not the case because of this breaking news.
That's
The
a
Saints are pushing heavily to sign him. The Titans are also involved, and it just came out. The Jaguars are also heavily monitoring the situation to sign Jadeveon Clowney.
What?
What?
Why?
Why?
God, if he
Who
gets
knows?
signed by the Jaguars, I'm gonna be upset.
I mean, that
That's
has to be like
death
a
blow for my
okay.
bet.
We got some money, and you're gonna be part of our rebuild.
We got some money.
Like-
We can't. We got to sell some tickets to the game. We have to give some reason for the fans to watch.
I'm not selling any tickets this year.
That's,
Can't sell tickets.
That is
You probably could week 3.
that's something.
They're in Florida. That's true.
Yeah, all right.
They don't give a shit.
We will see. Okay, NBA bubble. We had some Game 7. Rockets over the Thunder by a bucket. Nuggets over the Jazz by a point.
2 points.
Scotty, your reaction when Conley's 3 went in and out.
Oh, dude,
like the burger
So when
place.
that happened, I was like up until late, just like on Twitter, and
Crying.
Yeah, buzzing about it.
and you know how because there's a lot of news after the game and stuff, but so I had nightmares about that shot and it didn't even go in. Like that shot makes me cringe. Like I can't even watch that shot because usually in the midair I was like, oh my god, that shot's going in. That's fucking like this is it. And it didn't. And it was like a thrilling feeling, but like I almost feel like I don't know. Like I feel like it's like cringe just to watch it because I feel like it could have been so tragic that it still haunts me.
If Mike Conley wasn't distracted by a stupid baby, that shot goes in.
Fucking father.
Yeah, that was that was
What
great.
a loser.
Second round predictions. So we'll start in the East with
Don't
the
make
Heat,
me
Bucks,
do
Celtics,
this.
Raptors. Heat, Bucks, Celtics,
give me
Raptors.
hope.
Tell me which team wins and in how many games, because in the East, you already, obviously, both series are 2-0. Zack, Heat, Bucks. Heat now favored. They turned into the favorite in that series in the late in the fourth quarter of that game.
But they're still
still
+5 somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Heat, Bucks. What's the series outcome, Zack?
Heat in 6. I think the Heat win tonight, and then the Bucks win.
The next 2.
Win.
Oh no, sorry.
And win the next 2.
Yeah, win the next 2.
The Heat win tonight.
Yeah. The Heat. Yeah. Then the Bucks can win. They think they come back and win 2 more. But then the Heat finally close it out. I think Heat in 6. Unfortunately, as unfortunate as it is, I'm gonna bet them the whole way, make a ton of money.
Okay, except tonight. I'll go with.
You didn't lay that for me, you jerk.
I will go with. I gotta go Heat, and I think it goes 7.
Okay.
It
I
goes
hope
7.
so.
I think it goes 7.
I hope so.
I think the Bucks and Raptors have a good shot at winning these next 2.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think the Bucks win the next
I
2.
think Heat go to 7, but if the Bucks win the next 2, they're going to be favored to win the series.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. All right, Scotty, Heat, Bucks.
Man, that's tough. This is a tough one because
That is tough.
Your favorite team.
I really like the
Miami Heat.
like the Heat here. Yeah, I really like the Heat.
Dude.
I
The only reason I can be kind of okay with it is because I love Tyler Hero. I think he's going to be a great star.
I don't give a fuck about
coming
that.
years
I think
in the
Jimmy
NBA.
Butler's a fucking.
Well, I know you
killer,
don't,
dude.
but his whole 10 points last
Yeah,
night.
but he's like the
mentality.
whole like he's the leader of that team, no doubt. I mean, he won the game last night. So,
I mean, yeah, the refs gave it to him because they felt bad about
yeah,
the
it was
horrible
a
foul
makeup
that they
call
called just
for
before.
a shitty fucking call.
Yeah, it's
anyway.
that's a ball don't lie call. Yeah,
The makeup of
Yeah,
makeup
like
calls.
Yeah.
good for them for making right. I guess they're like, well, okay, that was
Yeah,
pretty
that's
bad.
true.
'Cause,
Mm-hmm.
I
We
mean, the
fucked
Heat,
up.
the Heat were up 113, 107 with 9 seconds left, and they somehow.
Oh, I thought.
Then
that game
Brooke Lopez did get a killer. That was a really nice and one that he got off a great
Mm-hmm.
turnover.
Yeah, well, Jimmy Butler was like, if you're
Yeah.
gonna throw the ball away, just chuck it as far as you can down court.
Right.
Don't throw
Right.
it at your other
Yeah,
team's
that's
basket.
Right.
And it was like that lucky bounce right off the.
Nathan had
backboard.
that killer call before the game. Like we were on our way to the sportsbook, and Nathan was like, "Take the under on Butler's points. There's no way he has back-to-back games like that."
And then I said the same
He
thing
has
once I
fucking
found
10
out.
points.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I was like, he had 40 last night. Take the under.
I'm taking the Bucks in 7. Number 1
Hey,
seed.
I like
I
it.
hope so.
Everyone's
God, I hope
high.
so.
Everyone's so high on the Heat or 6-0 in the playoffs. You know, like I think the Heat win like another time somewhere along the line, but I'll take the Bucks in 7. It's not for money. It's fucking. I'll take Bucks in 7.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not like it's a 3-1 lead or anything.
All right, next one. I'll start Celtics Raptors. I think Celtics in 6. I think they match up well with the Raptors. And
Love
Celtics in 6. The hottest team. A lot of people, I think, are.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Scotty. I think everyone's like real high on
ahead.
Donovan Mitchell versus Murray in the first round, which they should have been. It was great. And then obviously Dame time was big for a minute. Luka had his moment. And isn't Jason Tatum's playing just as good as anyone in the bubble, kind of. I mean, he's not had 50
His over-under points, I almost took his over-under points for my lock because was only like 24, 25 points, I think.
He's played well.
I think he's going to get 30 tonight.
Yeah, Jason Tatum averages the same as Nikola Jokic, by the way. I'm just saying.
Nice.
I'm just saying.
Jason, well, I say that, and then Jason Tatum has 3 points right now.
They're up, though.
Right,
Kemba with 7. A clean... Yeah, Kemba has 17. That's
Holy
why.
Shit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Jaylen Brown, 4 points. The under's
I'm
looking
gonna take
good.
The Celtics in 7. I think that I said last night. I think both games go in 7. I think it's the NBA wants this. It's good for the NBA. And I just think the Raptors tied at 2-2, and then each win a game, and then Celtics in 7. I think they're the better team, but not without. I think the Raptors are also very good and being discredited right now.
Do you think the Raptors win tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to.
It's a must win.
going. Yeah, I'm going Boston in 5. I think that the Boston wins tonight to go up 3-0, and the Raptors are like, well, we're down 3-0, and then a desperation game where they get that one win, and then Boston closes out in game 5.
All right, next 2 series, both in the West. Give your pick and the amount of games it takes, and then 1 sentence why. All right, I will start. Lakers-Rockets. Lakers in 6. They won't let LeBron lose. Built different. Scotty.
Lakers in 6. They won't let LeBron lose. They can't guard AD. They have no one as tall as him.
Sorry about your grandma. I'm built different. Lakers in 4.
Oh, Jesus.
Bron with the sweep.
All right.
Actually, give me Lakers in 5. I'll take Lakers in 5.
All right. Last one. Nuggets, Clippers. Clippers in 7.
You bitch.
Jamal Murray built different. Pushes it to 7. Clippers minus 9-10 to win the series.
Lord.
Oh, I want to take... Oh, God, I want to take that.
Scotty.
You want to take the Clippers minus 9-10 or the Nuggets to win?
No, the Nuggets plus whatever they are. Plus whatever ridiculous number they are.
I think they're plus like 3 something. I'll take the Clippers in 6. I want them to go. I want the Nuggets to win.
His own team.
But they're also. I never do that, dude. I
know.
Never
No,
put
that's
money
the joke.
To it
That's
either.
the joke.
I would never put money towards the Clippers winning because I'm not gonna risk my excitement for the game or me rooting for the game because I have a dollar point to it. Only for the Nuggets would I do that. Unless I'm like a sure thing. Until I see game 1, game 2. I just have to take the logical. I have to take the logical point here. I think the Nuggets are just they're not ready yet for it, and they're still growing. They're young. So.
That's way more than one sentence. Okay, Nuggets in 6.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Nuggets in 6. Jamal Murray built different.
Okay, all right. Before we go to Boardwalk, we have a Chasing Payments update, and he is just sitting around collecting his money, apparently. He has not tweeted since he hit off another, what's it called? When he, Martingale, thank you. When he got, I think it was the Nuggets plus 1.5 on August 30th. Hasn't tweeted in 3 days. His last tweet was Bam, and he's just living it now. He's made... about $23,000 in the last 8 days of betting,
Holy
so
shit.
good for him. All right, that's your Chasing Payments update. Last thing, we have a Twitter trend, and that is Jay Cutler could be dating
Tommy Lahren? Tommy
Bahama?
I'm convinced she's actually just a boy.
Loose pussy lips. What's her? I don't know what her name is.
Jay Cutler's dating her because all of his passes were far right.
Hey,
I saw that one.
Does he even know how to throw to the left? At least, maybe. Who knows?
Good.
No, that's Trubisky.
Yeah. So I think it was broken by Sarah Spain from ESPN. So she did, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times 3.
Sarah Spain, the one who does like
39,
this ultra
40,
early
40,
in the morning.
47, or ultra
We always
late night.
knew he was a questionable decision maker.
I don't know, but she said wait 47 times on Twitter. She typed in the word wait 47 times, and then it did it with Jay Cutler and Tommy Lahren are dating, and It's been disputed like a million times. I don't think it's true, but
Big Cat said they're not.
yeah.
So.
But NBC Sports comes
Big
out.
Cat said it.
NBC Sports comes out and says Jay Cutler's dating Tomi Lahren according to Twitter, and it's like everyone has jokes. So some blue check marks chimed in with jokes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, the one last thing I would like to bring up before we leave the NBA is that we have drama with the Nets. Stephen A. had an opinion about it. Obviously, Steve Nash is the coach.
Talk about can't throw hard left.
Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, I know we're moving on, but I think I've always loved Steve Nash.
We moved on, Holmes.
I know. I love Steve Nash, and I think it's a good hire. I don't think you want to go with someone like Stephen A. was like Tyronn Lue is waiting in the wings, and you have these other assistants, the others not to get into that
sucks.
political kind of that's what I'm saying. It's like the only reason Tyronn Lue had any success was because he had fucking LeBron was pissed that he lost to the Golden State Warriors in the finals, and that's why they got a championship.
And the last thing I'll say is that, if the Nets made a decision on a coach, Kyrie and KD both had to sign off on it, no matter what.
Right.
And so if they signed off on Steve Nash,
I saw that video of KD and Steve Nash like in the gym, and he's showing KD as certain, they're working out together. I think that's players always love player coaches. I think.
It is Boardwalk time on THF, and Scotty's still holding a lead of 3 games over me, about 5.5 over Zack after last week. First game of the night, it's about, I think it might have already started, or with the NBA, everything is like 15 minutes backwards, I think. So I don't know if it started yet, but Toronto is a 2-point favorite against Boston despite their 2-0 deficit, and over-under that is fluctuated in recent days. We have it at 216.5 here on THF, and Scotty's going to tell you what pick he has for it.
Yeah, for the Clippers game, I have.
No.
Toronto. Okay, sorry.
That's the first game.
Yeah, we had the layout, and Denver was first, so I was looking at.
Yeah, I listed it second on accident.
No, my bad. No, I actually have over 216.5. I think Toronto has been kind of shut down, but in close games. But I think that the over here hits. I think Toronto is weird because there's a lot of games in the first series against the Sixers not against the Sixers, against the Nets, where they were under this total, but then they exploded and went for 150 to 122 or something crazy like that against the Nets. And I think that this, they can't stay defended for too long. I think, this is where they break out. And I think over 216.5 is really low based on the first 2 games. I also have them winning in my bonus by -2, but that's, that'll be later. But because of that, I think that they score a lot more and the total goes over.
Okay, I like the total. I would lean over as well, sort of on the same reason you would, but I am taking Toronto -2, and here's why. Game 2, Toronto was 36 of 90 from the field. They were 11 of 40 from 3. So far in the series, they are 21 for 80 from 3. Compare that to Boston last game. 32 of 76. They made 15 of 38 three-pointers. Marcus Smart went 5 for 5 to completely flip that game. He's a 31% lifetime three-point shooter. Toronto, Nick Nurse, a great coach. The job he's done to get the Raptors in this position. They went from 85-1 to 13-1 to win the NBA championship after losing Kawhi last year and winning it. Toronto 17-5-1 against the spread in their last 23 following an against the spread loss. Only 5 times under Nick Nurse have they lost 2 straight games against the spread. I like Toronto -2 tonight.
Yeah, I don't know the last time a coach of the year lost 3 straight in a series.
And I can't see
this
is the must-win of must-wins.
Yep, I can't see it happening.
Zach?
Yeah, I'm going to go with, I would like to take because it's Boardwalk, I'm not going to, but I'd like to take the Boston money line again because I think they're going for the sweep, but I'll take them +2.5.
Well, no shit, they're going for the sweep. They're not throwing games.
You know what I mean.
Why,
I think
I need to know why.
You need to know why? Because the Boston is fucking good, dude. They're just better.
Yeah, but like good teams lose. They're playing 7-game series.
Okay, well, I think that they're gonna win this game. They're playing well together. I took Boston money line the last 2 games and it worked out for me. So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Okay. All right, next game. Scotty, the Nuggets, one of very few teams to ever come back from 3-1. They win in thrilling fashion. They are a hefty dog, though, in their first game against the Clippers tonight. We have it at 9. I think it opened at 8.5. Over-under of 223. Scotty, what are you going with?
Now.
Wow.
Is that 9.5 now?
Yeah.
I believe so.
That's my Jamal Murray impression of, we play Thursday?
Yeah.
we play Thursday.
Yeah, and I think people are overblowing that a little bit. I think people are overblowing the fact that they're a little tired. You have to like know that down the line, yes, Jokic took over, and yes, Murray was gassed in that last game. But I'm taking Denver plus 9 here because of the fact of Jokic didn't have to do a lot that series when Murray took over. Murray might be gassed, but if we can get other players, I honestly think the matchup is pretty good for the Nuggets against the Clippers. Like Paul George is the one threat to where, if we can at least make him, struggle, then the Nuggets will cover that easily. But I think if Michael Porter Jr., who, by the way, I need to look at these game props. Michael Porter Jr.
Spoiler.
No, don't steal my game props. Don't steal my game props.
Michael Porter Jr. was passed by the Clippers twice.
Yeah.
In 2019 or 18, I'm sorry, and now he plays them, and he put it on air. It's like those doctors were the one that said he may never play
All
again.
right, I'll cut in.
And you guys might have this.
Yeah, I'll cut in. Their
ahead.
doctor was the one who wrote the report on me. I think he wrote some stuff that he thought I would never play basketball again. It's going to be fun to play against them for sure. That's why my pick is not a side. It's not a total. I am kind of the one who would over-exaggerate Jamal Murray being like, we play Thursday, like, holy shit. But it also kind of works both ways, where the Clippers have kind of been rusty then, since they've had this long layoff, at least longer than Denver's. But I have Michael Porter Jr. at over 12 points. There's some juice on the over 12 points because of that tweet. And if you look at, the Nuggets are gassed, well, Jamal Murray might be gassed because he played so much of that game. Michael Porter Jr. only played 17 minutes in Game 7. And his last 3 games against the Jazz, that win streak, his plus 47 combined in those 3 games. Jamal Murray, it makes me think, I think it's pretty square to say, Jamal Murray's tired under 24.5 points, but I go with a revenge tweet is what I like to back here and think Michael Porter Jr. over 12.
Nice.
Yeah, I think, and right now I have it at 11.5. And
Michael Porter Jr. at 12.5.
I think that's an easy bet.
The Lawrenceburg.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Fluctuating. All right. Well, I'll stick with over 12 is what I saw it at when I put these games down. Zach? Sorry. Go ahead.
I would over-exaggerate. I thought the line was going to open up at like -5 for the Clippers. The fact that it's all the way to -9.5, there's no way I don't take Denver there. There's just no way I don't. Like in a playoff game,
if it moves a whole point like
imagine
that,
if this was a regular series or a regular season game, Denver would be nowhere near +9.5. It'd be like plus.
Well, I gotta
3.
say, since I did I over exaggerate the Murray thing, and I think the Clippers. I think I would lean Clippers -9, but there's no way I take it over this prop. But I think I love Michael Porter Jr. over 12 if the Nuggets were to get blown out.
So you took a prop as the Boardwalk pick instead of over/under or spread.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's just if the Nuggets were to get blown out, if they could, in a sense, if they're down double digits in the second quarter or third quarter, just be like, okay, I mean, let's phone this. We're gonna drop a game in this series at some point.
Game 2, right?
And I think if they get blown out, I like Michael Porter Jr.'s over even more of 12. All right, Zach.
Agreed.
Do I have to take him at 9, or can I get him at 9.5?
It's at 9. What we had.
Okay, I'll take him at 9 plus 9. I think Jamal Murray's got something to prove. He's out for blood. This is what I said about. Who did I say that about?
Boston, that they're going for the sweep.
No, I said somebody was out for blood. I don't remember who it was. But anyways, doesn't matter. I think I was wrong then, but I'm right now.
Okay.
Scotty hopes. I think he has another big game.
Please.
And I think that who would they have guarding it? Lou Will probably, or Patrick Beverly?
Pat Bev is expected to play.
I would love. I would that. That's a barbecue chicken alert right there, as Shaq would say. It's chicken. It's fried chicken. So yeah, I'm taking them plus 9.
Next game, Zach's gonna lead off because it's his team. It's actually tomorrow. Milwaukee no respect for Miami on the line.
+5. I'm taking it.
Of course
Ride
you
the
are.
train.
Yeah.
Right? It worked out well for me the first 2 games. I think Giannis is just I think he's thinking about who he's going to sign with next.
Oh,
rather
stop
than
that. Giannis isn't like that.
No, he's not. But I'm just emotionally and mentally preparing myself for who I'm going to root for next. And no, I'm just kidding. It's you hate to see it as a Bucks fan, but at the same time, I mean, basically, the same thing happened in Game 1, happened in Game 2. They started off hot in the first quarter, and then everything kind of fell apart from there.
Scotty.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the under here.
Good call.
Bastard.
Good
I'm
call.
on the same side.
Good
Yeah,
pick.
I think it's gonna be tight, but I think if I had to guess, Milwaukee wins this. Obviously, just the number 1 seed is not going to lose
3 in a row.
3 games in a
Yeah.
row. That's exactly why I'm taking Toronto, even though they're the 2 seed, or 3 seed. I don't remember, but I think they're too good at teams. Good defense is going to be played. I'll take that under 224.
Yeah, I'm on
all day.
under 224 as well. It's like begging you to take Miami, which causes me makes me concerned a little bit. It's like they must know something. I don't know. It just makes me weirded out that.
I'd still take it. I think if I
Yeah,
had
that's
to,
what
but
that's the side I'd lean, because Milwaukee's shown me nothing. But I think the defense intensity ramps up for Milwaukee in desperation mode like this the next 2 games, because once you get down to 2-1, you still 3-1's almost as such a bad percentage if you're not Denver. And then with the Bucks, you get Chris Middleton's not hitting shots. George Hill couldn't come up clutch with a bucket last night. They almost irked out a win like we talked about earlier against the Heat with some crazy plays at the end. But leaning under, thinking that the defensive intensity steps up on the Milwaukee side. All right. And they held Jimmy Butler to like 10 points yesterday. All right. We'll go to our only...
He had 8 until those clutch, too.
Yeah.
The only 2 that mattered, really.
God, does he miss that extra one if the first one doesn't rattle in? All right. First, only Major League Baseball game. Another Toronto-Boston game. So we have those 2 cities playing in the NBA and on the diamond tonight. Toronto and Boston at Fenway. The over-under is at 10.5. I'll lead off. Should be an automatic play for me right now, every single time. And that is to fade the Red Sox, not on the game, but taking the other team's over run total.
Oh, the other team's over.
Toronto
Okay.
over 5.5 runs.
Nice.
And
I like
the reason behind it, same reason I bet the Red Sox under win total, and that's going to win by $1 million. It's because Boston has no pitching. They have the worst pitching staff in Major League Baseball statistically at a 6.18 team ERA. That is by far the worst. The Rockies are the second worst, but they get a pass because they play at Coors Field, and everyone hits there. Toronto, team total over 5.5. Zach.
I'm gonna go. Can I go? Or do you want me to pick something different than my ERA play of the day here?
Just take your ERA play of the day.
Okay, I'll take my ERA play of the day. Under 10.5.
For Toronto, Boston?
For Toronto, Boston.
Oh, duh.
Yeah. Martin Perez, 4.58. We can just go right into just get my ERA play of the day out of the way right here.
Your ERA play of the day.
Martin Perez, 4.58. Taijuan Walker, 3.27. That brings you up to about 7.7. You're 7.8. Easy under right there for me.
Winner. Zach's ERA play of the day brought to you by Zach's dogs who bark all the time. Zach's ERA play of the day is 6.6-2. Getting
We're back.
tight.
We're back to 500.
Back to 500. Scotty, Blue Jays Sox.
Yeah, I'm gonna take. This is tough, I think, because I don't know either of these teams very well. But looking at it from a coming in point of view, I'm just gonna go ahead and take Boston plus 1.5. I just think it's not very often. I feel like that 2 sports in the same city wins. So fuck it, I'll fade each other, and I take Toronto basketball. And Boston will win the baseball.
All right, Boston plus 1.5. Scotty, you said your bonus already, right? Toronto Raptors -2.
Yeah, that's actually my lock.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's going to be my lock. Toronto -2. Like I said, I don't think they fall down 3-0. I think that's impossible, and I think they win by more more than
All right.
one.
Hit us with your bonus then.
My lock. My bonus is the Padres money line.
Oh, that's my bonus.
-140. Yeah, I think that's easy. I'm not gonna stop the hot hand here with San Diego. I mean, they're like such a fun team to watch, and they're just fucking killing it. And the Angels, on paper, kind of look good, but the book has yet to like realize that they're actually not very good. So give me San Diego all day there.
Yeah, I have the Padres. The Padres, best offense in baseball, riding momentum of last night's blowout win against a decimated Angels team that, at 12-25, have not met expectations. They had high hopes to make the playoffs with an expanded roster for the first time in the Mike Trout era. They got Madden from the Cubs as a manager, and they're decimated from the trade deadline. They lost infielder Tommy LaStella, catcher Jason Castro to the Padres, and outfielder Brian Goodwin to the Reds. And to top it all off, Mike Clevenger from the Indians, his first start with the Padres since the trade deadline. Got to ride that. And then I'll say my lock, going back to the well, and that is to bet on Clayton Kershaw.
Hey!
Dodgers -1.5 against the Diamondbacks. Kershaw 1 run or less in all but 1 start this year. His last 3 starts, 20 innings, 2 runs, 21 strikeouts. Arizona starting Luke Weaver. He hasn't gone more than 6 innings since May of 2019. Hasn't gone more than 4 innings in 5 of 7 starts this season. He's faced the Dodgers once, gave up 6 runs in 4 innings. 4 career appearances against the Dodgers. His ERA is just below 10.
8.23 to be precise.
This season, but against the Dodgers in 4 career starts, it's 9.69.
Holy shit.
Including getting roughed up this year. So fading Luke Weaver, betting on Kershaw. I like where I'm at. Zach, bonus and line.
My bonus is the over 8.5 for the same game, Diamondbacks Dodgers.
But your ERA play of the day is Toronto Boston.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I made a switch up there. I know we talked about
Okay.
it previously before we start recording. And then my lock. So Jaylen Brown the last 3 games has not scored more than 20 points. I'm taking the under on his total tonight of 20.5. He scored 16 points in the last game, 17 in the one before that, and I think like 16 or 15 in the game before that. And the last time he did score over 20, it was only 21 points, and that was in Game 3 against Philadelphia. So I'm taking the under 20 and in the hook for Jaylen Brown total points.
Awesome. All right, Scotty, do you have a 3-way cross-sport parlay?
Do I? No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? All right,
No,
mine real quick, just because we talked about it. Pays out +121 with 3 big favorites, the Dodgers, the Clippers, and the Vegas Golden Knights.
Ooh.
3-team cross-sport +121 tonight in the NHL.
I've never bet the Vegas, or I've never bet Vegas Golden Knights and not have it hit. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Well, sometimes these books, like especially Indiana, where we go, is that they get their lines from Vegas, and the numbers are usually skewed in the Golden Knights' direction, because when they play, everyone in Vegas at the main books bet on the Knights heavily, and Vegas always wants them to lose. All right.
Well, maybe this cross sport play can be a podcast free play, meaning we each 3 bring in the team from a different sport, and then that will be the leg of the parlay, and so we can keep track of it that way.
Yeah. All right, that's good. I like that. So we can before each episode split up who has what sport.
Yep.
All right,
Nice.
I love that.
We'll do our best bets.
We have 2 NFL. Each
Yes.
person has 2 NFL best bets.
Yes.
2 NFL
Zach.
best bets.
Yes. What?
Go.
Oh.
Zach, hit me with one because you're excited.
Yeah, so most kicking points for the season, who do you think?
Zerline.
Justin Tucker, plus 700 to have the most kicking points this season. And the reason that I think he's not in first place, Harrison Butker's obviously in first place, and the reason I think he isn't is because the Ravens scored so many freaking touchdowns last year that he's not getting as many opportunities to show off his talents. I think that's different this year. A lot more teams have tape on them. So I think Lamar Jackson and that running crew can still get them into the red zone are close. But as far as execution goes, I think defenses are a little more keyed in on them this year. So I think Justin Tucker goes back to what he knows best, and he's gonna fucking nail it.
That's the first time I've heard Zack bet on his own team. Plus 700 for Justin Tucker to have the most kicking points in the NFL. You heard it here first. Scotty, do you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go.
All right.
It's something that I bet last week at the sports book, and it's Ben Roethlisberger as the comeback player of the year.
Yep.
I know you guys are high on Stafford.
I'm high on yours too. I bet them both.
I'm high on Newton. I have a ticket for Newton.
I have on Roethlisberger and Stafford.
I just think Roethlisberger coming back, it just makes the most sense to the same team. Stafford, he might be good, but I think Ben has a more realistic chance to make the playoffs than the Lions do. I think Big Ben there is the better bet, and so that plus at plus 300, you probably can't get better odds.
Yeah,
if he stays healthy and throws for as many touchdowns and yards as he's used to, that's a surefire bet.
All right, I like it, and I will go Le'Veon Bell under 850.5 rushing yards, and I got a great handicap for it. I'll cross it off as I go.
No.
Bell, one of the biggest disappointments in 2019.
He's so sad.
At least from the running back's perspective. Did not eclipse 90 yards at all in a game and ran for just 3 touchdowns. Receiving-wise is a dual threat. I just threw this in 19 targets through the first 2 weeks and a touchdown. Didn't catch a touchdown the rest of the season, only averaged 4.2 targets per game. His longest run of last year. Zach, guess how long it was?
Like 13 yards?
19 yards. So did not have a run over 20 yards. Adam Gase said last week he didn't manage Bell's workload well. He got 99 touches in the first 4 weeks, did not fare well, and now Adam Gase wants to do a 60-40 split with the dinosaur himself, Frank Gore.
You mean the MVP?
Yeah. And then also you factor in off-season rifts with Bell and Gase. Another disagreement just today when Gase held Bell out of practice for hamstring tightness, and Bell said on Twitter that he didn't have hamstring tightness. Gase said that they're all good, even though it doesn't seem that way. But if you have to say it, I don't like it.
Well, that was like last week. The hamstring thing was like last week.
They came out like Gase came out and said today that like we're all good.
Yeah, it's like Gase is like one of those dudes who like beats his wife and then he's like tells everybody like, "Oh, we're doing great."
What the fuck?
And then also last point on Bell's under, the Jets did at least try to revamp a dismal offensive line last year that did not open any holes for Bell and made Sam Darnold under pressure a lot. Connor McGovern, a center, he only started 1 year at center with Denver. George Fant, a right tackle. Last 3 years, he's only started 14 out of 48 games. He had a torn ACL, missed a whole season. He was a hybrid. He was a partial tight end with Seattle in 2018 when Will Dissly got hurt. He was a college tight end. And then, of course, Mekhi Becton from Louisville, 11th overall. We don't know how he's going to do yet.
Right.
So all of it adds up to what I think is a great bet of Le'Veon Bell under 850 and a half rushing yards. All right. Zach, snake back. Or no snake. We'll go inside.
All right. So, Scotty, who's your favorite wide receiver on Denver?
It's Cortland Sutton because that's the only one that really has played any.
Okay, that's fair. I just didn't know if you well, I'm taking the under on his season yards.
No.
I'm taking the under on his season yards. I thought it would have been Juwan Winfrey, if he's even still on the team, because he sent you a personalized message. But
what's Sutton's under?
1,050 and in the hook, and I'm taking the under. It's at minus 110 odds, because they've got. I feel like they have so many weapons with the new guys, and Noah Fant's going to have a breakout year, in my opinion. Which, by the way, take the over on his yards for the season.
Let's just say with this bet, I think Denver would be happy if this bet hit.
Right.
Sutton's under hit because that means they got production from Hamler and Judy.
Right.
Or they hate the bet because Sutton gets hurt or something like that.
Right.
But, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's not necessarily a bad thing for Denver. It's just a bad thing for Cortland Sutton fans. But yeah, I think. But I mean, still, you look at like wide receivers like Randall Cobb, who never had a 1,000-yard season in Green Bay. Still a great wide receiver. Still brought a lot to the team. So you don't have to have a 1,000-yard season to bring a lot to the table.
Okay. Scotty. Oh, go ahead. Counterpoint.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I like the bet. If it hits, it hits, or if it doesn't, it doesn't.
It's just as likely for the other one to hit.
It's not like I'm offended, right? But you also have like Randall Cobb's not a great example because Randall Cobb's is a slot receiver, whereas Cortland is an XY receiver who plays on the outside.
I was just saying more like you don't have to have a 1,000-yard season to bring something important to the table. That's all I was getting at.
So my next pick is actually another. It's funny because my pick is the under of another receiver who it plays on a team who wanted to take Cortland Sutton, but Denver stole it, and that is the Dallas Cowboys, and that's Michael Gallup. Same draft. Cowboys wanted to take Cortland Sutton. Broncos swooped in, somewhat surprisingly, and drafted a wide receiver. And I mean, it was needed, obviously. Now, glad that we did, but Michael Gallup becomes already, with CeeDee Lamb and the emergence there, probably already comes the third option in Dallas. And he had 1,000 yards last year, and the over-under is actually at 900. And I just think there's just
somebody else's fantasy team.
I like that.
No, I like it.
There's way too many options in Dallas right now, and I just think that there's not enough yards to go around for him to eclipse 900 yards. I'm surprised, even looking at it, that he got 1,000 barely last year. So I'll take that under 900, and that's an easy pick for me.
All right, like that one. Last one for me, and it's a season win total at plus 107. So Chicago Bears, you can get them under 8.5. That's minus 200. If you take them under 7.5, plus 107. Here's my reasoning. 8-8 last year. Pythagorean says 7.4. You look at 8-8, you think, okay, 500 team. That's why they're favored to win 8 the money says they should win 8 games this year. But you look closely into that last year. Chicago got a Week 17 against Minnesota handed to them because the Vikings rested all their starters before their playoff game against the Saints. And they got to beat Detroit's backups twice because they didn't play Stafford at all. They played him twice after his injury. So 5 of the 8 quarterbacks that they beat were not the team's primary starter or was benched, something like that. They beat Joe Flacco, Case Keenum, Jeff Driscoll, David Blau, and Sean Mannion. They also beat Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones, and Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott being probably their best game last year on that Thursday night. So 5 out of the 8 quarterbacks, not the primary. Schedule this year, upper half in terms of difficulty, tied for the 13th highest degree of difficulty in terms of winning percentage from last year. They get the NFC South. The NFC South, the second favorite to win the most games out of any division, trailing only the NFC West. You think of Foles, Trubisky. Whoever wins that battle, I still like the under 7.5 wins in it, and that's because of the supporting cast around him. David Montgomery already banged up, so maybe his health could be a problem the whole year. And then at wide receiver, after Allen Robinson, you have basically a slew of nobodies. Anthony Miller has 85 career catches, never had over like 50 in a year, and then you have a bunch of no names. Javon Wims, Cordell Patterson's a specialist, Darryl Mooney, Rodney Adams, Ted Ginn Jr. is ancient, and then
he's not with the Saints anymore.
Reggie Davis, and the Bears, they upgraded in free agency at linebacker, getting Robert Quinn from Dallas and re-signing Danny Trevathan, but nothing really on offense besides tight end Jimmy Graham, another ancient guy
who did not fare well with an elite quarterback.
And they got Demetrius Harris, who was like a backup tight end in Kansas City, and then they drafted Cole Kmet from Notre Dame as a tight end. So loaded at tight end, not at receiver. Running back banged up. Offense struggles. I think they're an under team, like weekly maybe. But under 7.5 for the Bears at plus 107 odds.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I was very tempted to take the under win total for the 49ers
10.5.
as a best bet at 10.5. That is just the fact that I really don't think they get close to 11 wins this year.
Mostert's going for 2,000.
2,000.
I wonder why Scotty would say that.
No reasoning besides that. He's on my fantasy team, and that's just separate.